a coin. I am tossing this coin. What are the chances that head will occur? This is a die. I'll roll this die. What are the chances that even number will occur? Are you able to answer these questions? Yes, you will. If you stay with me till the end of this video, the topic of which is probability. So welcome back to your own channel, Midha Guru. I am your maths teacher, Shweta. This is a very important, interesting and a very easy topic. So stay with me till the end of this video and be focused. So let us start with this topic. So after watching the full video, you will be able to describe the concept of probability and its features. Then you will be able to explain the concept of experiment, random experiment and deterministic experiment. Next, you will be able to explain what is concept. You'll be able to define the events and different types of events. And then you learn what is theoretical probability of an event. So let us get started. First, let us know what is the meaning of probability. What does the word probability mean? So probability is an important topic of mathematics, which means it deals with the measurement of likelihood of an event. It measures the likelihood, the chances of occurrence of a particular event. So this is numerically expressed. Now this ranges from 0 to 1. That means the minimum value of probability is 1 and the maximum value is, the minimum value of probability is 0 and the maximum value is 1. Now let us see what are the features of probability. The first feature is the probability of an event is a number. As I told you, this is numerically expressed. It is a measure. So we express this numerically in mathematics. Now, the probability of an event is a number from 0 to 1, as I told you. Now, what does this 0 mean? This 0 means that the event of occurrence of an event, the occurrence of an event is 0. That means it is an impossible event. It is impossible. 0 means it is an impossible event. I'll give you an example. I'll just give you an example of this impossible event. Suppose I say, what is the probability that when a die is rolled, we will get a number 10? Is it possible? No, it is not possible. So in that case, the probability is 0. It is an impossible event. Next is 1. Next is 1. So 1 indicates that the event is certain to happen. This is certain to happen. That means it is a sure event. We can write it as a sure event. Now, I'll give you an example of this also. Suppose I tell you what is the probability of coming, what is the probability that when we roll a die, a number less than 7 appears. Yes, it is certain to happen. That is a sure event. So this is one of the example of sure event. In that case, the probability is 1. Now we come to some of the terms associated with this probability. First is experiment or trial. What do you mean by experiment or trial? Experiment is an operation. Okay, it can be defined as an operation which is done infinite number of times and we get a result. When it is done infinite number of times and it produces a well-defined result, we get a well-defined result. The result can be well-defined. For example, suppose if as I did it, I tossed a coin. Tossing a coin, we get a well-defined result which is either a head or a tail. So that is an experiment. Tossing a coin is an experiment. Again, rolling a dice. Rolling a dice is another example of experiment because we get well-defined result, which is the results are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6. Okay, so these are the results. So rolling a coin, throwing a dice and rolling a coin are examples of experiments. So there are many experiments which we are going to perform, and we are going to see what are the outcomes of that. So let me tell you, before telling the meaning of outcome or event, let me tell you what are two types of experiment which you are going to see. We have random experiment. What is a random experiment? An operation in which all the outcomes are known. We know all the outcomes, but the exact outcome is not known. Again, I'll take the example of throwing a dice. We know the outcomes are either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6. We know these are the outcomes, but we don't know the exact outcomes. Do we know the exact outcome when I roll a dice? No, we don't know. Suppose I'll throw a dice, I can get 1. I can either get 2, I can get 3. I know the possible outcomes, but I do not know the exact outcome. So that is the random experiment. Next we have another word written over here, which is deterministic experiment. What is deterministic experiment? An operation which produce the same result when repeated n number of times under the same conditions, under identical conditions. Example I can give you of some science experiments. Suppose if we talk of any science experiment, you must have studied that burning of magnesium ribbon. Every time if we perform the experiment under same conditions, we'll get the same result. So all those science experiments are examples of deterministic experiments. In this chapter, we are going to deal only with the random experiment. We'll see what are random experiments. We move on to the next slide, which is event. Now, what do you mean by the event? We have seen experiment. Experiment is an operation which done n number of times produce different results. So those results are called events or outcomes. So what are events? The set of all possible outcomes of an experiment is called an event. Here it is written, in throwing of a coin, the possible outcomes are head or tail. So those are the events. When we do an experiment, we get events, we get outcomes. Now, these are the different types of events we are going to deal with. Now, first is equally likely event. Equally likely, the word itself is telling us something. Equally likely event. The chances, when the chances of occurrence of an event are equal, it is called equally likely experiment. Events. Now if I tell I am throwing a die. Now I throw a die. What are the chances of getting a 1? Because there are 6 total outcomes are there. The possibility of getting 1 is 1 by 6. What is the possibility of getting 2? Yes, 1 by 6, again 1 by 6, because the number 2 appears 1 times and there are total 6 numbers. Okay, so 2 by the probability of getting 2 is 1 by 6. Again 3 is 1 by 6. Those type of events are called equally likely events. Again, tossing a coin is an also example of equally likely event, in which the probability of getting a head or a tail will be 1 by 2. Now, next we come to elementary events. What are elementary events? Any one possible outcome of an event is called elementary event. Suppose if we throw one coin, either what we can get, we'll get a head or we can get a tail. So the event of happening the occurrence of any one of the events is called elementary event. Now I'll give you another example. If we throw 2 dice, just tell me, if we throw 2 dice, what are the possible outcomes we are going to get? I'll write here, we can get either HH, we can get head on both the coins. Next is, we can get either head on the first, tail on the second. This is the second probability. Next is TH, and another we can get is TT. These are the possible outcomes. These are the possible outcomes which we can get. So elementary event, if I talk in this case, elementary event is occurrence of any one of the outcome. Occurrence of either HH, occurrence of either HT, TH or TT is an elementary event. So elementary event is occurrence of any one of the outcome is called elementary events. Now we come to complementary events. This is very important. What are complementary events? Suppose the chances of occurrence, okay, suppose the chances of occurrence of any event is 1 by 6. If we take the case of, again, we are taking the case of throwing of a die. Suppose the chances of occurring of 1, the number 1, is 1 by 6. So the chances of not occurring 1, we write, if this is the chances of PE is the chances of occurrence of 1, not occurrence of 1 is written as E bar. This is E bar. It is not occurrence. This means not occurrence of any event. If P is the occurrence of any event, PE dash will be the occurrence, not occurrence of that event. If 1 by 6 is the occurrence of 1, what will be the probability that 1 will not occur? 1 will not happen. So what is the probability? Of course 5 by 6. Because there are 5 other numbers. It will be 5 by 6. So also we can write, see, PE plus PE dash is always equal to 1. If we know either of these. If either of these is known, suppose we know PE and we want to find PE bar, we can just subtract 1 from that. And if we know PE bar and we want to know PE, we can again subtract 1 from PE bar. So these are complementary events. Let us revise this. What was equally likely events? Equally likely events are those events whose chances of occurrence are the same. If they have equal chances of occurrence, suppose tossing of a coin, there are equal chances that a head will occur or a tail will occur. I'll give an example of where the chances are not equal. Suppose I have a bag, I have 3 green balls and I put 2 red balls in that. What are the chances that a green ball will occur? Yes, it will be 3 by 5 and red ball, it will be 2 by 5. Are the chances of occurrence of a green and red ball equal? No, it is not. So when the chances of occurrence of an event are equal, it is an equally likely event. What is elementary event? Elementary event, I told you, occurrence of any one of the outcome. Occurrence of any one of the outcome is an elementary event. Complementary event are those events, if I mean to say the PE plus PE dash are complementary events. The chances of occurrence and non-occurrence of a particular events are complementary events. And their sum comes to 1. Their sum is 1. Let us move on to the next slide. What is the next slide? It is theoretical probability of an experiment. How do we find the theoretical probability of experiment? Now, if the total number of events, let the total number of events is n in a random experiment, and if they are m favorable events, the total number of events is n. Let the total number of events be n, and if they are m favorable events to that particular event, now the probability of happening of that event will be, we denote it as PE. P stands for probability and E stands for event. So the probability of occurrence of an event is number of events favorable to E, which is m, by total number of events, which is n here. So we can write m by n. Let us take some examples. Suppose I'll give you an, suppose we have a bag and we have 5 blue balls. We have 5 blue balls in a bag and we have 4 red balls. One ball is drawn at random from this bag. What is the probability that a blue ball will occur? What is the probability of occurrence of a blue ball? We'll see this theoretical probability. According to this, it is number of events favorable to E. I told you what is the probability of getting a blue ball. So number of favorable events is 5 and total number of events is 9. So the probability of getting a blue ball will be 5 by 9. Similarly, if I want to find the probability of getting a red ball, what is the probability that we get a red ball? So the probability of getting a red ball, we can write like this. Probability of a red ball is 4 by 9. This is how we calculate the probability of occurrence of any event. Let us move on to the next slide, in which I am going to explain you the study of coins. As we know, if we toss a coin, we know we have two outcomes, which is a head and a tail. So the probability of occurrence of any one of them is 1 by 2, which we have seen it. Now, if I say, if we toss two coins, this is one coin. Now, if I toss two coins, which is coin 2 and this is coin 1, this is coin 2. What are the occurrence? What will be the total outcomes? What will be the total outcomes? Yes, this also we have seen it. Over here, it will be HH, HT, TH and TT. What are the total outcomes? It is 4. Over here, it was 2. So how? I'll just tell you, if we have one coin, the formula becomes 2 to the power 1. So total outcomes is 2. This I am telling a trick to find out the total number of outcomes. If suppose here we have 2 coins, suppose we have 3 coins, we have 4 coins. How will you calculate the total number of outcomes? Over here, if we have 2 coins, the total number of outcomes will be 2 to the power 2. If we have 2 coins, it will be to the power 2. If we have 1 coin, it is to the power 1, 2 to the power 1. So total number of outcomes will be 4. Now, if we have 3 coins, the total probability will be 2 to the power 3, which is 8, and so on. We can check if you want. It will be HHT. Next will be HTH. Another probability will be another possible outcome can be HHT we have written, HTH, HTT. Next will be TTH, THT. Next we can write HHT, HTH, HTT, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 3 more. Next we can write TTT. We have HHH. So last is THH. So you can see the total number of outcomes is 8. If we have 4 coins, it will be 2 to the power 4. So you can calculate the total probability if we increase the number of coins. This was about the study of coins. Now we come to the throwing of dice. Again, we know if we throw one die, the total number of outcomes, the possible outcomes are 6. Either 1 or 2, we have 3, we have 4, we have 5, we have 6. So total number of outcomes in this case is 6 to the power 1 if we throw a single die. This is throwing of a single dice. If we throw double, 2 dice, if we are throwing 2 dice, what will be the total outcome? Yes, the total outcome will be 6 to the power 2, which will be 36. It is 36. It will be 1, 1. Let us write this. 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, 6. Next will be 2, 1, 2, 2. It will be 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 5 and 2, 6. Next is 3, 1, 3-2, 3-3, 3-4, 3-5 and 3-6. Next is 4-1, 4-2, 4-3, 4-4, 4-5, 4-6, 5-1, 5-2, 5-3, 5-4, 5-5, 5-6, and the last row is 6-1, 6-2, 6-3, 6-4, 6-5, and the last one is 6-6. So if you count, this comes to 36. If I ask, if in this question we are asked what is the probability that the sum comes to be 6? If in throwing 2 dice, what is the probability that the sum comes to be 6? Let us see where the sum, what are the possible outcomes are these. These are the possible outcomes. What are the favorable outcomes? Favorable outcomes where means when are we getting 6? When we add the number on the first die and the second die, we get a 6. This is one of the favorable outcome. Next is this 2. Then we come to 3-3. Then we come to 4-2. And then we come to 5-1. Is there any other favorable outcome? No. So total number of favorable outcome is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So what will be the probability? The probability we can write, the probability of coming a 6, the probability of this event is 5 by 36. This is how we calculate the probability. Now, we come to another topic. This is also very important. Cards. The questions related to cards always come in your exam. So please focus here. We have cards. You must have seen cards. Everybody there, you must know. So we have total 52 cards. Total cards are 52 and it has 13 cards of 4 suits each. The suits are, first suit is spade, which is black in color. I've shown you, see here. This is the image of the spade. Spade looks like this, which is black in color. Next is clubs, which is shows like that. The heart, okay, heart is, it is replaced. Heart will be this, and the diamond, this is heart, which is red in color, and diamond, which is red in color, is this. So heart, this is not heart, heart is this, and diamond is, the heart and diamonds are of red color, and the spades and club are of black color. We know there are 13 cards of each suits. 13 cards of each suits, which gives us a total of 52 cards. We have 52 cards means we have 4 of each number. We have A, 4 cards of A, then we have 2, then we have 3, then we have 4, each having one suit. We have 4 2s belonging to each suit. We have 1 2 of spade, we have 1 of club, we have 1 of heart, and we have 1 of diamond. That means 2 cards black in color, 2 cards are red in color for each number. Now we come to face cards. What are face cards? J, Q and K are called face cards. So how many total number of face cards are there? We have 4J, which are jacks. We have 4 queens, Q, we have 4 kings. So total number of face cards are 4 jacks, 4J, 4Q plus 4 kings, which comes to a total of 12. So we have 12 face cards. So you can be asked this question, what is the probability of coming face cards when we pick a card from a deck? When a card is picked from a deck of cards, when a card is picked from a deck, what is the probability that a face card will occur? So it will be 12, which is a favorable event, by total number of outcomes is 52. So it will be 12 by 52. Next, Next is an ace card. This is an ace card. The role of this card is a little bit controversial. Okay, here we do not call it a face card. Here this is a number card. This comes in the category of number cards. So we have 4A, then we have 4-2. See, you can see 4 A's, each belonging to different suits. 2 are red in color, 2 are black in color. Same goes for all the cards. So in total there are 52 cards. There are 12 face cards and the remaining are the number cards. So this was the complete concept of probability. Here we have come to the end of this lecture. Now in next video, I am going to give you some very important questions on probability, which are, I'll say the chances are there to come in your board. The chances of the questions, they can come in your board exam 2023. So please watch another video. Till then, follow us on Instagram and subscribe to our YouTube channel Midha Guru. Goodbye.